Hey, everybody, you are watching the Teresa Lusk Show social media spaces. It is an addition to the Teresa Lusk Show where we get to spend some time with you, just having fun, bringing some additional awesome guests that could really bring you some helpful information, guests that are wonderfully equipped to empower you, train you. You know, the Teresa Lusk Show is all about faith and politics, business, and just the general well being, life coaching, and so much more. But one of the things that we're going to be doing through this and through these segments is bringing on awesome people who have done amazing things. So I can't wait to introduce you to our guest for tonight. But first, I want to talk to you about what is exactly the social media spaces for Teresa Lusk Show. So I mentioned it briefly, and I told you that it's an addition to the Teresa Lusk Show. So what we're going to be doing here is taking our time, inviting awesome people who can share about their business, who can share about the awesome things that they're doing in their lives. These are going to be people who've got life experience, business experience, experience in different areas. So I want you to make sure you text our number to join us so that you can know when something's coming up, when we have special guests. You can text us to 844-921-0409 and text the word show, SHOW. If you text 844-921-0409 and text the word show, you can stay up to date with us, and we'll put it on our Facebook page after, being that it's not popping up right at this minute. But I just want to make sure you text the word show, SHOW, to 844-921-0409 to stay up to date with everything going on with the Teresa Lusk Show, special guests such as the one we are having tonight. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is sponsorship. This is one of those things where I'm trying to just bring attention to authors. I really believe in the work of authors. I believe in the work that authors do. I'm an author myself. So we're going to have a lot of people who have great books written. And so that sponsorship is just giving us the opportunity to look at your work. If you're interested in it, we will look at your work, we'll look at what you've written, and we will review it, we'll bring you on. So if you want more information about our sponsorship, make sure that you text us or send us a message through this social media platform. But the text number is 844-921-0409. And so I can't wait for you to just touch base with us, say, hey, I'd like to know more about the sponsorship. Maybe you want us to bring you on and interview you about your book. Now, not everybody is that submits will be able to come on because it does have to line up with our vision, but we would love for you to submit your work. But tonight we invited the awesome Bernice Loman. Bernice actually is a talented businesswoman. I can't wait to introduce you to her. This woman actually has been very instrumental in building up my social media, my website. So if you go to teresalusk.com, if you go to teresaluskshow.com, so she has been very instrumental in helping my brand look professional, look great. But the reason why I brought her on was not necessarily because of her amazing business and entrepreneurial spirit, although that's part of it, but it's because she wrote a book. It's called I Create. Let's see, everybody, I Create. And so I want to show you this awesome book. I want to talk to her about the book, the basis of the book, why she wrote the book. It's a fun little book. Listen, I adore children's books. And so anytime you have an author that writes awesome children's books, I want to hear, how did you get there? Why did you get there? So I want you to help me welcome the awesome Bernice Loman, and she's going to tell you more about herself here in just a bit. So come on in, Miss Bernice.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Absolutely. Listen, it's a blessing to have you on. You are An inspiration, Bernice. One of the things that I've noticed about you is that you just go and you go and you go, and then recently you wrote your children's book, I
Yes.
Create, which I absolutely love. And hey, you where can people get this? Before I even start talking about that, where can people get a copy of this book?
All major book outlets from Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, of course. If they just go simply to the website I Create Book, there are different links that they can click on and get the book.
Awesome. Listen, I want you to tell me a little bit about the little character here, Miss Maria, little tiny Maria. Tell me, why did you write this book? How did you come up with this character? Tell us a little bit about that.
The character actually is myself. Maria is my middle name. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't kind of enclose it as much, but when someone asks, I talk about it, so it's not like included in the back of the page as a typical author would share. But Maria is my middle name, and that little girl that is creative. When I was coming up, as now I've been creative and I explore in innovation and coming up with just tons of things, from keyboarding, playing, writing songs, songwritings. I was heavy into sports and just some of everything when it comes to creativity and creating. My mind has always been um a innovative mind. And so I see when it comes to young children is the same as little Maria, is that a lot of youth are creative and innovative. And so that's where the creative character comes from, and just that little girl that is innovative, her mind is exploring new things, of creating new things. And yeah, that's little Maria.
Okay, so the parents are those your parents, or tell me a little bit about
The
that?
mother is, well, actually the father is the mother, Mary. That's my mother's name, is Mary. And
Okay.
my dad wasn't fluent in my life, but I recreated my story and put my dad,
Mm,
Charles, in there. So he was never in
wow.
my life, but I recreated the story and put him there.
That's so good. I love what you just said. You recreated your story. Listen, I'm an author. I love children's books. I've already
Yes.
said that, but let me tell you why what you just said is so powerful.
Yes.
Because Bernice, we all have a story in our lives that
Yes.
needs to be recreated.
Yes.
And what you just said, that was just a boom for people, because we need to be able to recreate our own stories. And through creativity, it happens. And
Yes.
so you just did that beautifully. So while I'm talking about your book, tell me a couple of things that are very that could be very helpful for somebody who's watching right now, and they're saying, hey, I would like to write a book. Because I meet a lot of people who just they're in the I call it the ministry of want to, and I'm
Yes.
like, you got to go from the want to the doing so. And so,
Yes.
you know, what would you say to an aspiring author who is like bombarded with their thoughts of, oh my gosh, I want to, but this is like a mountain to climb? What do you say to that?
Yeah. I my first thought is to make sure that you have the right people in your network. For me, I've been blessed to connect with the publishers T and J, their husband and wife, great Christians, Timothy and Jackie Fleming, and anything I can think of or come up with, I'm like, hey, can we do this? This is something I'm thinking about. They said, let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
get it. Let's get it going. And so I would definitely say, just having the right people. What I've seen, because I come in contact with entrepreneurs all the time from my
yeah,
profession and what I do.
right.
And so what I've found is that the struggle can be, or the challenge can be for people, is that they don't have the right people in their network. You
Yeah.
have to have some people that, even though you may say, I can't do this, you need someone that can hold you accountable, and that accountability partner. And I think that's one
Yeah.
of the significance. Of course, prayer, of course, prayer. And I think
Sure.
in the place where I am is that
Mhm.
I believe faith without works is dead. We can believe those things, but we got to make sure that we're making those initial steps and actually
Yeah.
following through with it. So, yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
yes. Well, that's great advice. If you just tuned in to the Teresa Lusk Show social media spaces, you are
Yes.
watching Bernice Loman, the author of I Create. This is an awesome little
Thank
children's book.
you.
You've got to get your copy wherever books are sold online. Listen, this is a great gift for your children.
Yeah.
Summer's coming. Kids need to be able to have something to read. This, you can add this to your
Mhm.
library of nighttime stories. And let me tell you why I like this book. It's about being an entrepreneur. And
Yes.
we want to inspire children to
Yes.
dream. We instill in kids that it's okay to go work for somebody in a corporate office and the 40 hour a week, but what
Yes.
about the entrepreneurial spirit? Like, that's what we really want to do. So we
Yeah.
want to get some more information out of Bernice Loman, but first I want to remind you, if you just tuned in, to text our number 844-921-0409. Text the word show, SHOW, to keep up with what we're doing, keep up with upcoming guests and events. And we can't wait to keep you updated with everything that we're doing. But it is my honor to get to interview today Bernice Loman, the author of I Create. She's also a marketing strategist. She has a heart for business. She has helped my own business, my own website. She created both my websites for my ministry and business. So I've had a lot of fun with that, Bernice, by the way. I'm
Yes.
I'm just thrilled with the colors. She created my logo. She's a branding specialist. And so you can find more information about her at Loman Creative Services. But I want to talk a little bit more about the book. What is the feedback that you're getting from some of the children that are reading this book, some of the parents? What's some of the feedback you're getting?
That they can identify with the young girl, with all the creativity that she had. Maria was she's a character that she plays the piano, she sings, she has an idea for a playground. And so that's the thought, that's the feedback that I've been getting, that the children are identifying themselves like, hey, that's me. I too want to create something, or I have something in mind. And so that's like, that's that's joy for me, because that
Yeah,
that's I love to see
yeah,
children not only create something, but take it beyond the creativity into entrepreneurship. And so
that's
for
right.
me, I love also to hear the feedbacks of the parents and the grandparents, who
Yeah,
now they're challenged to say, okay, we're going to have to establish a bank account, because Mary, the mother, um takes Maria to the bank, and so
that's right.
she's establishing her bank account. And so the goal is to continue the story, so from banking, and also like banking and the development, the branding part, and just to
Yeah,
teach children that there's steps to entrepreneurship and creativity, and it's endless. Actually, innovation is it's endless. You can do
yeah.
so much with creativity, so much.
That's right. That's right. So, are you going to be writing more books
I am.
based on
Yes.
this series? Yeah,
Yes.
you're going to create a whole series of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Is it going to be the entrepreneurial creative series, or you're going to deviate a little bit, or have you decided?
I have not decided as of yet, but I
Okay.
I do I do believe that what's I like to feel the need, and I see there's such a great need for money management with children and parents. So I like to
Mhm.
bring on, from her from the bank perspective,
Mhm.
and still keep it into the creativity side of what can happen with creativity. So yeah, I hadn't put it on
Yeah.
paper as of yet, but I
Yeah.
definitely know
But
it's
you're
not
going to
going to
be
stop.
working on.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely. Oh,
that's
definitely.
great. I've been doing quite a bit of radio interviews and TV interviews. And one of the things that I'm really focusing on is mental health for the younger people. And one of the things that keeps coming up a lot is the number of kids that are actually that deal with suicidal ideation and anxiety, depression, things of that nature.
Yes.
And I think so. I'm going to deviate just a little bit. I'm going to pivot
Sure.
into this topic on the healthy uses of social media, because one of the reasons why we see this rise in the suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety is the total unhealthy use of
I
social
agree.
media. There's a lot of cyberbullying. There's just the gross things that are going on right now in every kind of way.
Yes.
Okay. So you are a big believer
Hmm.
in using social media, particularly. Tell me a little bit about what you're really into right now that you're pushing. And what's funny is you and we come from the church world. Okay, we're
Yes.
we're both ministers, preachers,
Yes.
whatever, but we're also business women. And so for me, I used to stay away from the health. I just thought social media was just so much of it was evil. and
Yes.
and then you have to kind of come back around and go, there's some good uses for social media. So what are
Yes.
you doing right now? Tell us what you're doing right now to push the healthy side of social media. Why are people so freaked out about what you're doing, and how can we really put some truth to the fear?
Okay, so there's a lot
Yeah, 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 just
to
share your heart.
unpack here. So,
Mhm.
I think right now, one of my um desires or passion to do right now is what I'm doing is the metaverse, Web3, into that space, because I see such a great need for to share positivity in that space as well as social media. So like right now, definitely Web3, which is like metaverse, and definitely I have to say that is like one of my joys of what I'm doing right now, and creating positive spaces, creating events, something fun that even children and adults can attend while they have their virtual reality headset. And like, for instance, I am hosting a show for someone who has a show Friday. They're going to come to the office, and they're going to have a show, and I have someone who is a Christian rapper who's going to be a part. She's a young millennial who she's always on the virtual reality headset, but she has a message. So
Hmm.
I asked her to be a part. So she's going to share a poem. I've connected with so many people. So that I would definitely would say is something that I'm pushing. You asked what I'm pushing like right as of
Hmm.
right now. And it definitely will be, yeah, Web3, metaverse, virtual reality, connecting with people from the virtual reality space.
Okay.
I see so many. We're talking about children and bullying. Let me unpack that. What you said at the beginning. I think there's such a there seems to be a big need or huge need for young people to
Hmm.
compare themselves online, and I think
Right.
that's where the issue comes from, or stem from. Um,
Yeah.
well, the issue can go even deeper of not feeling accepted at home. So that's
Right.
another
Right.
thing,
That's a whole nother topic.
that's a whole
Yeah.
nother topic, but we're going to stick to social media. But social
Yeah.
media, I think the need to compare, and a youth a lot are looking for that followership, the need to have the likes and the follows from,
Yeah.
TikTok,
Yeah.
IG,
Yeah.
that need to have that liking to have that support from followers and
Mhm.
people. So I think that's where it comes from. Some parts of where the challenge for youth come from, or trying to fit in. They want to fit in into something. And where I feel like my message comes in, especially with the book, it shows that you don't have to follow everything somebody else is doing. You can
Sure.
actually create something. You can create your own trend. You can create your own brand that people will see the vision and get a hold on to and connect from what you've created. And so yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
think. That's what I see the need for right now is the youth need to be able to know who they are, know their
Yeah.
identity, and not be so easily swaying to something that they have no deep revelation or knowledge of what's really behind a certain thing, and
Yeah.
to tap into their uniqueness, to learn how to tap into their creativity. We're all are creative beings in some way, and so to tap into their creativity, who they really are, and find that, and finding them, truly finding themselves, and being inspired, motivated. You
Yeah.
still need to be motivated. I had this conversation literally today. I told someone, I said, because she has a podcast, and she said she was having some questions on, she wanted some questions, she was thinking of questions on what to share with her podcast, that what's missing in the church, what different topics are missing. I was like, well, I could tell you one, like, what do we do with youth?
Yeah. Right.
This the youth, the church, I feel like as a whole is not are not talking about what to do with the youth, because as a
Yeah.
whole, we have, as a church, have missed, I really believe we have missed the mark with
Yeah.
connecting with youth as a whole. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, we've missed a lot. It's been hard to
yeah.
keep up with the changes for them. So
Yes.
when somebody like yourself, you're tapping into the younger generations, I
Yes.
think it's great. And for those of you who are just climbing on to watch, you are watching live with the Teresa Lusk show. And this is
Yes.
the social media spaces addition to the show so that I can bring on authors and
Yes.
business people, faith people, political people, just to introduce you to wonderful people such as Bernice Loman with Loman Creative Services, but the author of I Create. I keep trying to make sure
Yes.
I don't miss it. This is
Don't
an
miss
awesome
it.
little book. You listen, I read this book and it was just so precious. And it just inspired me because, like I said a million times, I love children's books.
Yes.
I actually plan on writing children's books myself. I
Yes.
have a publishing company actually coming out kind of soon. We're working on it. We're putting all the
Yes.
pieces together, because I can't wait for more authors to come out with children's books. So you're really hitting a very important aspect about children is to feed their mind with the opportunity and the vision for entrepreneurship. I can
Yes.
just tell you, I think we've always told our kids, which is great. It's fine too. Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah. But we rarely said, do you want to own the building down the street? Do you want to
Yes.
own the bank? Do you want to
Yes.
own your own hair salon? Do you want to, we don't talk
Yes.
about those things. So
So
this book really does, introduce the concept of awakening the entrepreneurial spirit, which I
true.
believe, forget what I believe, we know it comes from God because he is
Yes.
the one who created, he is creator. And so it really helps, really helps. And on top of that, you're using social media, you're using metaverse, because you want to use it in a positive way. I know we've missed it a lot in the church, is what we say for those who are faith-based and religious, that we've missed it in the church, meaning we have not found the way to connect. So Miss Bernice Loman is tapping into this generation, to try to awaken in them their gifting. So
Can I say
you,
this too? I don't know
yeah,
if I told you, but I have a I create metaverse space.
okay,
So is just as the front cover of the book, the
Mhm.
metaverse space is exactly like that. So the door, the rug, the green lounge,
Aw,
everything. And so I have more vision for that as well, because the goal is to bring in children in that space where they
mm,
create their they put on their virtual reality headsets, and I have created some blocks inside the room. So the
awesome.
goal is to have like workshops with them where they have these blocks and they can
Right.
just grab the blocks and just imagine or envision what they want to
That's
do, what
great.
they want to do.
So
So it's coming.
what age range is that for?
So it is from like 3, 4 till about 7 or 8. So about
Okay, all right.
rated
And
about.
how do they access that? Tell our
Um,
viewers how they access that.
yeah, so the very first thing is an investment of a virtual reality headset. So that's
Okay.
how they would connect from the virtual reality headset.
Okay. And then they go to the I Create website and it goes from there?
So it's different applications, but what I have done thus far is I've used Facebook's metaverse app, and with
Okay.
that you can go in through Loman Creative Services. You can also search I Create Book, and it pulls up right there from the virtual reality headset, and yeah, that's how you connect.
Okay. All right. Now, as we wrap up, Bernice, tell us just briefly, because you do marketing, and I don't want to get too much into that because
Yes,
I want to make sure we close being focused on the book. But
yes,
real
yes.
briefly, you do an amazing job with marketing. You're a branding specialist. Tell us real quickly about that.
One-stop shop for branding, marketing, and tech. That's the motto. Everything media creativity, being that one-stop shop source or hub for brands. And the great thing about what Loma Creative Services does is that our goal is to connect with businesses and ministries. So there tons of brands and businesses, brand businesses out there that focus on maybe one particular thing, but our mission is to help those people of faith, faith communities, as well as those in business. So the list is a plethora of services. We literally
Yeah.
are one stop shop for
Oh,
branding,
yeah.
marketing, and tech.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I'm constantly like emailing you going, Bernice, I need this, I need this,
Yes,
so I've enjoyed that process. For those of
yes,
you who are just tuning in, we are talking to the author, Bernice Loman of I Create, available where books are sold online. It's
yes,
a book about creativity and entrepreneurship. It's based on her life. It's precious. One of the things that she said from the very beginning was, I recreated my story. And I love that. I love that. And I want to encourage those who are watching tonight to recreate your story. If recreating your story in a book or in a journal or wherever brings you healing and brings you restoration and it can help somebody, hey, go for it, do it. So I just want to thank you, Bernice, for coming on tonight. I'm excited about your project. I think it's precious. I love having this little book here in my office and just,
awesome.
reading it. It was
Thank
just precious.
you.
For those of you who have children, grandchildren, listen, teachers out there, they sometimes they need books. You can purchase these books and get a gift for the teachers. Those of you who like Christmas stocking stuffers, this would be a great gift. I
Yes.
don't know, but just connect with Miss Bernice because she has so many other awesome things to offer, including the metaverse for the children ages approximately 3 to 7. Miss Bernice, as we close, what were your last words that you would like to say as an author? What would you say? What would you like to close with?
I would say you can do anything, literally, like with the strength of God, you can do anything. When I think of creativity, and innovation, whatever your mind um, can think of, do it. If
That's
it's
right.
writing a children's book, if it's creating the next play, or whatever falls into that scope of creativity and innovation, just just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, that's my closing. Do it. Because I think
There you go.
sometimes when it comes to creativity, we can sometimes, even as authors, try to mimic what other authors are doing and what someone else. We kind of like need a roadmap or like
Yeah,
a map. But I mean, with creativity, it's listen, like you were sharing, what stood out to you is I recreated my story. Like I can
that's
do
right.
that,
That's
and that's
right.
that's creativity. That's yeah. So yeah,
That's right. Awesome.
you
Well,
can recreate your story. That's what I want to
that's
end.
right.
You can recreate your story.
You can recreate your story. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How can people reach you, find you?
iCreatebook.com.
All right, iCreateBook.com. This was Bernice Loman, the author of I Create. One more time for your viewing.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead and grab you a few copies, bless somebody with it.
Yes.
And Bernice, thank you so very much. This was awesome. I enjoyed every minute of it. And thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
God bless. And thank you all for watching. Take care.